Hunters love to debate calibers, and for years some cartridges have been called the best of the best. But when you take those same rounds into steep, high-altitude mountains, many seasoned hunters admit they hate them. Why? Because the mountains test everything: your body, your rifle, and especially your ammunition. Imagine hiking for hours, finally spotting an elk across a windy canyon, only to realize your caliber is drifting off target or punishing you with brutal recoil. That frustration is real, and it's why certain rounds are falling out of favor in 2025. In this video, we're counting down the 5 calibers mountain hunters regret carrying the most. Some are lightweight classics that struggle in rough conditions. Others are heavy magnums that crush your shoulder and your confidence. And number 1, it's a round so powerful and respected that you'd think it dominates in the high country, but hunters say it's the one they regret the most. Stick around, because you might be surprised to see your favorite caliber on this list. Number 5, 223. Remington. For decades, the Mark II-23 Remington has been praised as one of the most versatile cartridges in North America. Hunters use it for varmints, target shooting, and even predator control, and in those roles, it performs brilliantly. But the moment you take this round into the unforgiving terrain of the mountains, the flaws become impossible to ignore. Picture yourself hiking a rocky slope at 10,000 feet, your breath short, the wind whipping across the ridge. Suddenly, an elk steps into the clearing at 280 yards. With a .3 in your hands, confidence starts to fade. The light bullets, often in the 55 to 77 grain range, are extremely sensitive to wind drift, and at high altitude, those crosswinds can push them far off target. Mountain hunters often share stories of clean misses or worse hits that didn't deliver the quick, ethical harvest they always strive for. That's the heart of the issue. Ethical hunting in rugged country demands a cartridge that can handle steep angles, unpredictable weather, and large-bodied animals. The 223 was never designed for that role. Yes, it's lightweight, cheap to shoot, and incredibly accurate at closer distances. Many hunters love the fact that recoil is minimal, making it easy to practice with all day. But mountains are unforgiving places where one shot often determines success or failure. Carrying a 223 into those conditions feels like bringing the wrong tool to the job. Some argue it has a place for small game or coyote hunting in the hills, and that's true. In fact, on a calm day with the right load, it can still impress. Number 4, 308 Winchester, 7.62 521mm. The 308. Winchester has one of the strongest reputations in hunting history, praised for its accuracy, moderate recoil, and decades of proven success. It's a caliber trusted by deer hunters across America, and even military forces have relied on its parent design for generations. But when you climb into steep, high-altitude country, the 308 starts to lose its shine. Imagine standing on a windswept ridge, glassing a bull elk across a canyon nearly 500 yards away. You line up the shot, but doubts creep in. The 308 can reach that distance, but its bullet drops significantly compared to modern magnums, and in unpredictable mountain winds, that slower velocity makes precise shooting far more difficult. Many hunters share stories of hesitation or missed opportunities in these exact scenarios. That's where the frustration comes from. In flat country or dense woods, the 308 feels perfect, reliable, affordable, and effective. But in the mountains, where long shots are common and every ounce of energy matters, the cartridge feels like a compromise. Mountain hunters often say it lacks the extra margin of confidence needed when an animal is positioned far across a rocky basin. Some argue the 308 remains perfectly ethical inside 300 yards, and they're right. In closer ranges, its accuracy and energy are more than enough. But as modern optics, lighter rifles, and advanced bullets push hunters toward longer distances, the 308 sometimes feels outdated. That doesn't mean it has no place in mountain hunting. Its manageable recoil makes it more comfortable for long hikes and repeated practice, which is vital for safe, ethical shots. Number 3, 30-06 Springfield. The 30-06 Springfield is perhaps the most iconic hunting caliber in American history. Since its introduction over a century ago, it has taken nearly every big game species across the continent. Hunters respect it for its power, versatility, and tradition. Yet, when the hunt shifts into unforgiving mountain country, many hunters begin to see its age. Picture a long climb through thick timber, the rifle digging into your shoulder straps as you finally break above the tree line. A bull elk appears at 450 yards, broadside and calm. The 30-06 is capable, but its bullet drop and wind drift at that distance are greater than many modern cartridges. The hunter hesitates, unsure whether to risk the long shot or attempt a dangerous stalk across scree and cliffs. That moment of doubt is where the 30-06 begins to lose trust among mountain hunters. It's not that the cartridge lacks power. Loaded with 150-180 grain bullets, the 30-06 delivers plenty of energy for elk, moose, and bear. But compared to newer designs like the .300 Winchester Magnum, it doesn't shoot as flat or resist the wind as well. In steep, high-altitude environments, that difference is critical. Mountain hunters demand efficiency. Every shot must count, and every ounce of confidence matters. The Springfield's performance requires more careful range estimation and bullet drop compensation, which can be difficult in real-world conditions when your heart is pounding from the climb. Some still swear by it, saying its balance of recoil and power is perfect for hunters who stay within their ethical range. And they're not wrong inside 300 yards. It's as reliable as ever. Number 2. .300 Winchester Magnum. The .300 Winchester Magnum has long been advertised as the do-it-all big game cartridge. Hunters praise its flat trajectory, heavy-hitting energy, and ability to reach across wide canyons where other rounds struggle. On paper, it looks like the perfect mountain caliber. But when you talk to real hunters who carry it into steep country, the story isn't always glowing. Imagine climbing for 6 hours, your pack heavy, your lungs burning in thin air. You finally spot a ram across a rocky basin at 400 yards. You set up, but as you squeeze the trigger, the rifle bucks hard into your shoulder. The recoil is fierce, and after days of hiking, fatigue makes managing it even harder. Some hunters admit they start flinching with the .300 Win Mag, and in the mountains, one flinch can cost the shot of a lifetime. That's a big reason mountain hunters develop a love-hate relationship with this caliber. The power is undeniable, and when it connects, it delivers clean, ethical harvests. But the punishment to the shooter is equally undeniable. Hunters often tell stories of bruised shoulders after multi-day trips or missing their shot because they weren't steady under recoil. Add in the weight of rifles chambered for this caliber, often heavier barrels and bulkier optics to manage accuracy, and suddenly, the perfect mountain rifle feels more like a burden. Another frustration is cost. Ammunition is expensive, and high-volume practice, which every ethical hunter values, quickly wears down the rifle's barrel. In other words, it's a caliber that demands commitment both physically and financially. Some hunters gladly accept those trade-offs, but others walk away, preferring cartridges that balance performance with comfort. Number 1, .338 Lapua, Big Magnum Class, .338 Family. The .338 Lapua Magnum and its Big Magnum relatives have earned a legendary reputation in the shooting world. Known for extreme range, massive power, and military-level precision, many hunters once believed this caliber family was the ultimate choice for mountain hunting. But reality often tells a different story. Imagine trekking across shale ridges with a rifle that feels like carrying a steel beam. After hours of climbing, your shoulders ache, your pack digs in, and the weight of the .338 becomes more of a curse than a blessing. Finally, when you set up on a once-in-a-lifetime shot, the recoil crashes back like a hammer. Hunters describe bruises, flinches, and hesitation, things you never want to feel in a high-stakes moment. The power is undeniable. At 500 yards, the .338 Lapua still carries energy most calibers can't match even at the muzzle. But mountain hunting isn't about brute force alone. It's about endurance, balance, and practicality. Ethical hunters often admit they don't need that much power for sheep, goats, or even elk. In fact, some regret bringing it at all, realizing a lighter mid-sized Magnum would have done the job more efficiently and with far less punishment. The price tag doesn't help either. Rifles chambered in .338 Lapua are expensive, and ammo costs make regular practice difficult. Without constant training, many hunters lose the confidence needed for clean, ethical harvests. That's why so many seasoned mountain hunters quietly confess their frustration with this caliber class. What looks unbeatable on paper often feels impractical in real-world hunts.